Hello, tribe. Sally here. Hope you're having an amazing and fascinating day. I know I am. And there's our Kit right back there. Hey, Kit. Where is he? There we go. Look at the camera. Good boy. Good look at the camera. We just came back from a walk. It's a little bit chilly outside. And today we are here with episode 6 of Monday Milepost Mailbag. So we're going to roll the intro and we're going to get right into this.
Wake up with the sun in our eyes. Sally forth, no need for goodbyes. Journey calls, let's roll the dice. Every mile a new surprise.
Welcome back. This is Monday Milepost Mailbag, and this is episode 6. And I'm going to start off with a big thank you to our newest channel members, Dorian and Mel. You joined during yesterday's first Sunday coffee talk, and I am so grateful for your support. Speaking of coffee, if you want to help me keep my cup full while I'm editing or planning the next leg of my journey, you can always buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Sally4th. I'll put it up on the screen, and there's a link in the video description down below. If you decide to buy me a coffee, I will raise my mug to you in a future video. Right now, I'm also in the middle of prepping and resupplying before heading back into Yellowstone. I can't believe I'm going north at this time of year, but apparently I am. On Thursday, I'm going to start my first ever camp hosting gig at Lewis Lake, and I'm excited to bring you along for that whole adventure. Part of what's really cool about this is that my commitment is until October 13th. So it's not a long commitment. I get to find out whether or not this is something that I want to do. And I get to help out the park because they haven't had a camp host since early in August, apparently. The Lewis Lake campsite does not have any electricity at all. And so it's been difficult to find people that are willing to live off of solar, as I do all the time. So not a big deal for me, but apparently a big deal for a number of other people. All right, let's go ahead and open up this week's mailbag. First up, Tommy G said he would much rather fill out forms on the computer than on the phone. I am with you, Tommy. Thumbs are not made for typing 3 pages of intake forms. Give me a keyboard any day. So thank you for that. Susan left such a sweet comment about Kit's ears. She said they look like they tried to stand up straight but didn't quite make it. That is indeed Kit in a nutshell. Where is Kit? Oh, there he is. Can you see him? I think you can see him. Can you say hi to the people? Yeah? Okay. She also shared her sadness about Bandit's passing. Debra and Jana, if you're watching, please know we're all holding you close in our hearts. Dorothy had a really thoughtful comment on the Grey Rocks Reservoir video. She said that she appreciated that the videos are real, like Kit not being perfect, or me realizing the inverter switch was just, off. That honesty is important to me. Life on the road isn't always shiny Instagram moments, or rainbows and unicorns, as I like to say, and I want you to see the whole picture. Most of it is great, but even the not so great stuff just contributes to the overall experience. So I don't love it in the moment, but reflecting makes it easier to deal with. Lori asked a really big question. She's 68 and thinking about solo camping in her Class B, but she's feeling some fear about doing it alone. So I'm gonna put some of my thoughts in here, but I want you guys to go ahead and leave a comment down below that could give Lori some ideas and encouragement about how to get started on this for herself. So Lori, first of all, good for you for wanting to try. My best advice is to start small, maybe just one night, and do it close to home. You always want to do it close to home the first time anyway, because worst case scenario, you forgot something important, you can always go home and get it. And for people that want to learn how to boondock, my best advice usually is go to a campground, go to a state park or an RV park, or, whatever, private campground, whatever, pay to park and don't use the utilities. They're there if you find out you can't get through without it, but if you don't need them, you don't need them. So that helps you stretch a little bit further. And each time you do it, your confidence is going to grow. And remember, a lot of us started out with the same nervousness, so you're in good company. In fact, I changed my entire rig because I wanted to feel comfortable boondocking on public land alone. I had done it with some friends when I had my truck and trailer, but I had never felt comfortable doing it alone. I went to a Class C, similar to having a B van, because if I felt unsafe or unsure or uncomfortable for whatever reason, I could walk right up to the front seat, turn the key, and drive away. And that's the way I always look at it. I guess the other piece of advice I would give if you are nervous about being out by yourself is don't put stuff out. I never leave anything outside my rig that I would not be willing to drive away from. So that's just the way I do it. But it also instills confidence, not like, oh, I got to go out and get my chair. I mean, because I'm not going to get a chair. I'm going to leave a chair. I'll go buy a new chair if I got to do that. But all of that said, I have never in 4 years of full-time life and, wow, 10 years of solo RV camping, I have never been in a position where I felt like I needed to drive away after I had picked a place. There were 2 times when I felt like I didn't want to be at one of the places I had potentially planned to stay, but I just drove away because I always have a backup plan. Or as my friend Deborah Dickinson says, always have a backup plan for your backup plan. So there's that. All right. Lisa Canterbury had me smiling. She's been living on solar since 1990. She just replaced her system after 35 years and says she's still learning and making mistakes. Lisa, thank you for sharing your experience. It's such a good reminder that we're all learning, no matter how long we've been at it. And finally, Angela left a heartfelt note about how much she appreciates me commenting back. Angela, I love how friendships are forming here in the comments. That back and forth is what makes this more than just a channel. It makes it a community. And thank you for being a part of it. All right, this brings us to our frequent poster of the week, the Airmail Award. And this time it goes to Angela, at AngelaAnn-YL8RP! Angela, you not only leave thoughtful notes, you also make me laugh. On that crazy Wyoming dirt road video, you said poor Kip must have felt like he was in a bounce house. That is the perfect description of that ride. Thank you for bringing your humor and warmth to so many videos. I love seeing your comments pop up. All right, that wraps up this week's Monday Milepost Mailbag. Thank you for everyone who takes the time to leave a comment. You are what makes this journey so much fun. And as I get ready for Yellowstone, I'll keep bringing you updates from the road. If you'd like to support these adventures, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SallyForth. You can consider joining the channel like Dorian and Mel did yesterday. And I'll make sure to toast you in an upcoming video for your coffee and give you a shout out if you join. Big hugs to everyone. And again, welcome to Dorian and Mel. And I'll see you from camp posting at Lewis Lake very soon. Until then, keep seeking what's possible, and we'll keep publishing our videos from Traveling with Barb. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.